Ever since the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker's first teaser trailer that made its debut back in April of this year over at Star Wars Celebration, followed by the second teaser that made its debut over at D23, it left a lot of fans around the world very excited and eager for the third and final trailer of Episode 9 by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to hold many connections to the prequels and the originals, as well as, of course, J.J. Abrams introducing new types of Star Wars lore that surrounds the Jedi, the Sith, and the Force in general, that's really going to be used in a way in order to benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren in this story. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to various shot descriptions of the upcoming Episode 9 Trailer 3, this is where things begin to get very intense for this movie. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Dark Rey and regular Rey are said to be inside of a dark cave, where it's explained that Dark Rey is said to split her double-bladed red lightsaber into two single-bladed sabers, where she is said to fight Rey with the Skywalker saber in a very fast-paced battle, where they are actually said to be scenes that involve Dark Rey charging toward Rey in one of the quick shots where she is briefly said to be running on the side of the cave's wall before jumping in front of Rey, where their sabers are said to lock together. The scene is described to be a mixture of Luke's vision of course, going up against Darth Vader on Dagobah, however adding in prequel trilogy-esque action into the mix. The next describes a sequence in which it's explained that Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren are said to be walking toward Palpatine's hideout, which is described to be a large black cube structure that is supported by four large support beams. It's said that one of the sequences is said to involve Kylo and his knights taking an elevator down to Palpatine's throne room underneath the world of Exegol, where Palpatine is actually said to be seen laying down on a medical table of what appears to be Disney's version of course, shadow guards by Palpatine's side. It's described that the shot is said to establish that Palpatine is on the verge of death in the upcoming film. Lastly, a sequence in which it's explained that Rey is said to be sitting down on the ground with her legs crossed, where the Skywalker saber is floating in front of her, where it's said that Rey is on the world of Ahch-To with the binary sunset seen in the distance in front of her, where eventually the voices of Anakin, Kenobi, Luke, and Yoda are actually heard in a faint way in the background that's actually said to consist of new dialogue. Now, during the scene, it's said that the saber is said to split into two halves, again with the kyber crystal floating in the middle of the two halves of the Skywalker family saber. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about this upcoming trailer that sounds very unique in comparison to what they did with The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens is that you can already see that this is more in tune with the Force, the Jedi, and the Sith, and of course everything related to the main villain in the movie, Palpatine. So Palpatine, of course, is going to be used in numerous ways in this particular film. We do know that in the first and second act, they are going to establish that Palpatine somehow, someway survived the second Death Star explosion and has lived ever since Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, which I think a lot of fans are going to either have a problem with that or are just going to be okay with that, because it really does kind of contradict, Darth Vader's sacrifice, and it kind of just diminishes that feeling that Darth Vader destroyed Palpatine once and for all, for really just robbing him of his life and entrapping him in the Darth Vader suit and basically putting him in a position where he had to obey Palpatine. So to me, I think that him surviving the fall really needs to have a great explanation by JJ in this movie, both in the film and in the novelization for greater detail as well. Now, this is actually said to be a moment in which Palpatine is said to be seen in a medical bed by, of course, with two shadow guards by his side. They're said to be like these Emperor guards that are actually in black robes. So that was an original idea as well that they wanted to do for, of course, Episodes 7 and 8 was to, of course, have the Praetorian guards and different types of Imperial guards transferred over into the First Order with black robes that they are now putting in Episode 9 for Palpatine's new Sith Empire. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over that I think a lot of fans are really going to love is, of course, the moment in which we have Dark Rey fighting regular Rey. It's said to be a combination of the vision that we saw in The Empire Strikes Back between Luke and Vader on Dagobah, except throwing in a lot of prequel trilogy fighting styles into the mix. One of which that really stands out to me a lot here is that Of course, Dark Rey is said to be running briefly for about 1 second tops on the side of one of the cave walls and jumping off of it, basically bouncing herself off of the wall and then jumping in front of Rey before they lock blades together, where she's actually said to be splitting the two halves of course, the double-bladed red lightsaber into two pieces, basically, to fight regular Rey and her blue saber. So you can really see where they're going with this movie. It's very prequel-esque, and what JJ is really trying to do here is to make it very action-packed, and in order to really sell this off to the fans. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.